As the incomparable Tina Turner once shrieked, this game is simply the best. This is Super Mario Bros. 3, and this is to video games as Monet's water lilies is to impressionism, as Dali's persistence of memory is to surrealism, as Jones' What's Opera Doc is to animated bunny barbarism. The bottom line is there had never been a game quite like this one, and in the decades that have passed since, this masterpiece still stands as perhaps the greatest two-dimensional platformer of all time. And frankly, it's one any gamer worth their weight in coins should experience. Super Mario Bros. 3 released to staggering levels of hype, even by modern standards. It was preceded by an enormous marketing campaign that included everything from feature-length films to television spots that implied the entire human race was chanting the plumber's name. And given how many copies Nintendo sold, that implication may not have been far from the truth. But the success of Super Mario Bros. 3 was about much more than effective advertising. With this game, Nintendo brought their flagship series back to its roots, solidifying those timeless run-and-jump gameplay mechanics as the backbone of the franchise moving forward. See, there were no onions or flying masks or bloated level designs this time. This time, it was all about what made you fall in love with Super Mario games in the first place. Move, jump, throw fireballs, kick turtle shells. Super Mario Bros. 2 was perhaps an early misstep for the plumber. Super Mario Bros. 3 was his heroic epiphany. The first thing you notice about Super Mario Bros. 3 is that the controls are just ridiculously tight. The degree of meticulous control that makes it so much fun to move Mario in his contemporary adventures can be traced directly back to Super Mario Bros. 3. Jumping through these colorful and diverse worlds is as smooth and intuitive as it is fun, and that's since become an unflinching standard for the series. Control is one area of the game that feels like a huge improvement over its predecessor, and design is another. Gone are the surreal aesthetics that made Super Mario Bros. 2 feel so foreign to the series, and in their place are all the things you'd expect from a visit to the Mushroom Kingdom. Lots of vibrant colors, lots of diverse locations, and thankfully, lots of bricks. But it's the level design itself that makes this game so timeless. The levels are much shorter than those in Super Mario Bros. 2, but that's not due to a lack of ideas. In fact, quite the contrary, Super Mario Bros. 3 is packed with the same kind of clever and memorable level design that made Super Mario Galaxy such a success 17 years later. It's just that they're spread out and they're divided into shorter, more digestible bursts that never feel boring or lose your attention. Across all the unique levels, however, brilliant platforming is the common denominator. This game brought back the sharp and refined platforming that made the original Super Mario Bros. So much fun. And from that blueprint, the game makes lots of clever adjustments. It's an evolution of the idea that a Super Mario game shouldn't have those sprawling, open levels of Super Mario Bros. 2, but instead it should feel like a kind of obstacle course, filled not with impediments, but opportunities. Chances for you to do what Mario does best. And in Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario added plenty of moves to that arsenal of things he does best. The game is usually remembered most for the new power-ups it introduced to the Super Mario series. Classic favorites like the Fire Flower and Super Mushroom returned, but Nintendo also threw in some oddballs, the frog suit, the legendary Tanuki suit, and of course that iconic raccoon leaf. These new power-ups, paired with the game's incredible controls and level design, are what makes Super Mario Bros. 3 such a memorable and special video game. Across 8 distinct worlds and dozens of brilliant levels, this game offers a gargantuan experience, an epic adventure that, in retrospect, was pretty far ahead of its time. Even some of the greatest NES games show their age, but somehow Super Mario Bros. 3 feels as fresh and irresistible today as ever before. It's seriously almost uncanny. Super Mario Bros. 3 is simply a masterwork of game design. Video game fans rarely find common ground, but if the nearly 20 million copies this game has sold over the years are any indication, we can at least agree on that.